Somebody thought of that. Somebody believed it. Look at what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. Lovers, the dreamers, and me. Oh, under its spell, we know that it's probably magic. Have you been half asleep? And have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection. Lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da 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 da. Thank you, Jubilee.
Thank you, Paula. Thank you, World Beat Band. Give them a hand. The Rainbow Connection. We just got even more connected. Thank you, Paula. Good morning, Jubilee. Good morning to everybody online. Say hello to the folks that are next to you. Wish them a good morning. Happy Labor Day. And would you look at this? We have the globe. We have the globe. But we can certainly keep the disco ball in our hearts. Laura Collins will be with us to do the meditation, so don't worry, I'm just an aberration. So we're talking about connection today, and we will be getting even further connected later, and it's important that at each entrance, there are little stickers. Put your name, grab a sticker and write your name down so people know who you are. There'll be a thingy later. Now, if you take an unscientific survey of most people, asking if they've ever been to the state of Delaware, they will say yes, they've driven on I-95. That delightful visit takes about 15 minutes, 95 minutes if you're in traffic. The state of my birth thanks you. Now, that interstate was the same one that my school bus trudged along past contaminated marshland and hypnotic industrial landscapes. Those expanses, back when I was a kid, they were desolate. They were stinky and unpopular at the time. Nobody wanted to go there, but they were seared into my brain. Long after moving away, those seemingly deserted swamps became the setting for dream after dream, decades on, these weird liminal spaces of mud and twisted metal between distant highways. Now, just weeks ago, I was back up in Delaware as my father languished in the hospital. And you know how those long hospital vigils can go. Long hours of sitting and waiting for, well, nobody knows quite what for. I wasn't really connecting. I mean, sure, to the hospital's free Wi-Fi, but bless his heart, I was having a hard time connecting to my dad. He was pretty irritable. And my family is scattered, and my friends are, well, here back in Asheville. I needed some green in my life. Now, for the past few years, I'd seen some new footbridges going up over those marshes. I knew that there had been some kind of rehabbing going on, but where? So I pulled up what seemed like a possible trail, but Google said permanently closed. You know those feisty folk that tell you not to believe everything that you see on the internet? Right. Not only was the trail open, but it covers a now thriving, recovering, vibrant marshland that was once poisoned. Turtles, fish, cranes, egrets, and kids were flying down trails in the shadows of urban life. Such wilderness, such surprise, such depth lurks and endures even as the traffic of human busyness crisscrosses such serenity. Connecting can be seen as a power in nature, aligning planets and putting ducks in rows. And that also moves humans into right places, right times, and holy moments. Reconnecting, rerouting, and rewilding ourselves begins by acknowledging that disconnect and saying, nothing can ever be permanently closed in a world that's ever turning. And Jubilants, you are some ever-turning people. So in that spirit, let's stand and sing ourselves into the place where God lives.
or maybe Mercury is in retrograde or something. Somehow all things are connected that way, I think. And maybe this is just another, thank you. And maybe this is just another way that we can be shown of how all things are really interconnected. And what is meant to be heard, what is meant to be, how many of you ever taken the time, you remember when we were kids, of drawing little dots all over the paper and playing the game of connecting dots and writing your initial inside that box? And just how wonderful it felt to just do like 5 or 6 in a row just by doing one line. And where are we in that connectedness now, the simplicity that we've learned as children? Connect the dots. Where are we as adults now? Where have we taken the simplicity that was taught to us as children when our minds were developing? As we transition into a new time in life and existence, how do we take those dots that are so ancient to us in our silent language of playing the game, of entertaining ourselves? Where are we now in connecting those dots in life? And if you will, face to the east with me, please. Oh, spirits of the east. It's with a humble heart and an open mind and an open spirit that we come to you. We thank you for the ancient wisdom that you have shared with us so that we might remember the simplicity of life, the simplicity of looking at the star people in the night as they glow and connecting the dots of energy and the stories that are being shared with us. We thank you, Light Nation, for all that you do for us to help us to thrive and give us direction in life, to give us the intuitiveness and the instincts to connect the dots in our lives so that we might create the beautiful vision that is being shown to us in our heart. Thank you, ancestors of the East, for this wonderful gift, and know that we love you. Oh. Face to the south, please. Oh, spirits of the south. We thank you for this day, the medicine of water. We thank you, cloud people and rain people and thunder beings. All the relatives of the water nation, we thank you. We thank you, water nation, for quenching our thirst for the mystery of life. We thank you for nurturing the seeds that are the visions of the future. We thank you for the ripples of water that echo across the top of the rivers and the lakes that remind us of the ancientness of the past. The voice of Mother, the voice of nature, the voice of stillness. Thank you, Water Nation, for all that you do to help us thrive in a good way. Oh. Face to the west, please. Oh, ancestors of the West, to all of those that have gone before, know that it's with immense gratitude and thankfulness and graciousness that we stand here before you. We thank you for the life that you have lived and the visions and the songs and the stories that you have shared with us. We thank all the ancient ones of the earth, the tree people, the stone people, and the rock nations. We thank you, all the creepy crawly things and all the ancient ancestors of the past that have walked upon this earth and have left a footprint in our heart and our life and have led and blazed a path to the future. We thank you, ancient ancestors of the past, for all that you do. And thank you for continuing to talk to us in the wind and the sunlight and the stars. Know that we love you and that we honor you in a good way. Oh. Face to the north, please. Thank you, ancestors of the north. To all the beings of the Wind Nation, we thank you. We thank you for the silence. We thank you for the stillness that we strive to return to in life. Thank you, Wind Nation, for all that you do to help us to pollinate the earth and one another with our love and our vision and our compassion and our wanting for a greater future for our next generations to come. We ask you, Wind Nation, to take the energy and the prayers and the love that's within it. Take all of the silence that is so deep that we have no human words for the depth of our love and our wishes for the greatness of the future. We ask you, Wind Nation, to take that vibrational song and carry it to the hearts and the minds and the spirits of those yet to come. And know that we honor you for that. Thank you for the stillness in a good way. Oh. Face the center, please. And if you would, Jay, thank you for pointing it out, because I probably wouldn't have noticed it myself. Or maybe I would have. But it's good to have that part back. And if you would, just take a deep breath with me. And envision whatever it is that you want to add to the echoes of the wind and the vibrations of the future. Breathe in the memories of the past and join it with what you have now that is what is yours in your heart. And release it so that we might create that path for those yet to come in a good way. And we ask you, ancestors, to hear us in this moment and to receive this breath in a good way as we give back to all that has been given to us. And know that we honor you, ancestors, and know that we love you and that we honor you and that you're always welcome here amongst us in a good way.
This song and this basket goes out from our community to help our neighbors.
You know it's a single. You know that it would be untrue. You know that I would be alive if I wasn't saving you. Girl, we couldn't get much higher. Come on, baby, light my fire.
Good morning, everyone. It's time for Jubilee in Action. This is where we learn all the news about how you can get more involved in the community, and I think the first person up is going to be Jeff.
Good morning, Jubilee. I'm here looking for new board members. We have a couple people that are rotating off, having served their term. Gretchen's finishing up at the end of this month, and Tim is finishing up in January. And so we need 2 or 3 more new board members so we can be in compliance with the Jubilee bylaws to have at least 7 members on the board. And being on the board is a collaborative experience. A lot of the work is done through email. It's not an overwhelming amount of work. It is some, but it's a really good way to support the community and help guide with the governance of our community. So if you're interested, please contact me. You can either see me after the service, or my email is on the website, homepage of the website, jeffpeisner@gmail.com. We'd really appreciate anyone who's willing to step up and help. Thank you.
It's me again, but this might be the last chance that you have to listen to my beautiful announcements. Overwhelmingly, 100% voted for this book. So this is the book that we will be reading starting next week. Well, hopefully we'll read it before next week, so we'll have the discussion. And it's Love Your Mother. And we're going to be meeting at Carol's apartment, which is on, like, off of Merriman, 3 to 4:30. Monday. The 11th, September 11th. I'm so well prepared. Anyway, so I will be in the hospitality area at the book group. So if you want more details about exact address, etc., please see me there.
Hey everybody, I'm Susie Davis. I have an announcement to make. That's why I'm standing here. The Care and Compassion team is up and running. We've got a good list of folks that are interested in helping when jubilants have a need for a little bit of assistance. We have 2 co-leaders that have stepped up to lead the group, and I'd like to recognize them now. Bill Brzezinski. Yay, Bill. And Sage Seeley. Yeah. And I actually want everybody who has signed up to stand up, because I want to recognize you guys. I mean, I see several of you here. Don't be shy. Oh, they are shy. I'm sorry. Okay, well, if you're not standing, you need to be on my list, or so contact me regarding Care and Compassion. Thank you so much. Stand right in front? Yeah. Can I hold something? Can I hold this for you? Here, stand up.
Yeah. By the end of this month, I will not be doing this. I have my surgery. Hi, I'm Sally Carter from Jubilee Singers. Hi, singers past, present, and those on the fence. It's time to say yes. We are singing again beginning this month. Our first rehearsal is this Wednesday, September 6th, 6:30 to 8 o'clock at the Kenilworth Presbyterian Church, 123 Kenilworth, Asheville. We rehearse every Wednesday throughout the rest of the year, and we meet at 9:30 at Jubilee on the Sunday we sing to practice. This is a song you probably all know or have heard before, A Place in the Choir. It's a lot of fun. I think that some of it will be up on the Jubitron, and it will be a community sing. Am I right about that? Paula, maybe? Okay. All God's critters got a place in the choir. Some sing low and some sing higher. Does that ring any bells?
It's a clever way to show the joy of singing. It's saying everyone has something to offer. So I hope that you join us this Wednesday for our first rehearsal, 6:30 to 8 at the church. Thank you.
On Thursday, September 21st, correct? Yes. At 6:30 p.m., we're going to have 2 intention setting groups. One's going to be in person. I don't know where yet, but you will find out. And one's going to be online. So whether you want to be in person or online, you can join. We're going to do it at the same time that night. And we're going to be sitting together in some silence and some conversation with some ritual to really set an intention and hold an intention with each other for the future of Jubilee, for our leadership, not just the new minister that we're hoping to attract, but really for the container, I know you don't like that word container, but for the structure of leadership here that will hold that leader, whoever he or she is when they arrive. So that is not quite the equinox this year. It's almost the equinox. So September 21st, 6:30 p.m., in person and online, an intention setting evening for our group. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. I'm on a reality. Some of you may remember at the first of the year, I made a commitment to bringing my prize-winning superfood granola to market. Last week, I had my biggest bake ever. I got 2 thumbs up from the FDA inspector and a big hug. And we're online. I have my nutrition label came back really extra good. And the idea is that all proceeds, or not all proceeds, but there will be part of the proceeds will come back to Jubilee charities to help the insecure population with their food consumption. Anyway, we're online, alteredrealitygranola.com. You can order it online. I can sell it all over this country now, so yay!
Okay, just a few more announcements. We have Sunday morning roadies that we need, so if you've ever had a desire to be part of a rock band, this is your chance. It's a real easy thing. It's really just kind of a bucket brigade of handing things from one person to another to get them up on stage and get them plugged in. Absolutely no technical experience needed whatsoever. So this is your chance, males and females and everything in between, to become a Sunday morning roadie. And if you're interested in this, talk to Bob. And you know, Bob is our guy back there in the sound booth somewhere. Yeah, there he is. He's sitting down. And his email is also on the website. And I am really excited that we're going to have a Zoom coffee hour after today's celebration. So not only will y'all be able to meet in person downstairs in the 6th grade classroom to enjoy coffee and conversation, but all the jubilants who are online are going to be able to get together on Zoom and have a conversation and start planning some other online things we're going to do. So right now, I'm going to turn this over to Susie, who has a gift of connection.
Thanks, Michelle. You know, one thing I love about being up here at the podium or being with the band is that I get to look out and see all of your smiling faces. And I enjoy that. I enjoy the little waves and the winks you give me and we give each other. And I kind of miss, you know, meeting in a circle like we used to, because there are a lot of times, hey, Bob. There are a lot of times, you know, when you connect with somebody across the circle during a, you know, particularly meaningful moment in the celebration or whatever. We have a room full of loving, caring, interesting, struggling, and curious people. And there are so many unexcavated commonalities among us. There are a lot of ways to connect at Jubilee. The coffee hour in the classroom behind us is one. Another way is to join a team and really get to know people around a mission or a project. You received a list of the teams as you came in, so I invite you to take a look at that and see if there's anything that you are interested in. And I've got the team leaders and some of the members will be in the coffee room afterwards to talk with. So see if this is something you'd like to get involved in. It's really about more than just making friends. It's about making the world a better place and belonging to something greater than yourself. So you actually came on a really good Sunday. I'm here to tell you, you're about to meet your new best friend. I know you were wondering about these name tags. Hopefully, everybody got one. Look around. I invite you to look around and connect with somebody that's got the same color name tag as you have. I'm going to invite you. We're going to take 2 minutes. And we're going to talk to each other. We're going to introduce each other to our, well, you've already started, so you've got 2 minutes. Take turns. Give 1 minute for one person, 1 minute for another. Make a new friend.
Can I specifically say it's a pair because that's important for my thing later? Yeah. Okay.
So pick one of these people that have the same color name tag as you, and just remember that person. Pick one person, remember their name. Well, remember everybody's name, but you want to connect with one person especially. This is important for the rest of the celebration. Okay, everybody. Go ahead and find your seats.
All right, everybody. We're going to be here all day. Thank you. Wow, they really took your gift seriously.
Hey, we
Susie.
have a. Okay. If everyone could, it's on. Okay. Our next gift is a poet that if you've been here in the last few months, you've heard her before. And we welcome her back, Elizabeth Meade. Good to see you.
Good morning, Jubilee. I'm really, really grateful to be here at this moment and this morning here with you all. I actually wrote this poem a couple of months ago today, partially inspired actually, by my return to Jubilee, and I wrote it after a Jubilee service actually, and I remember I was sitting over there where I usually am, and looking out at all of you, and feeling how blessed I was to be in such a warm and loving community. And this past week, I've been asking myself the question a lot of what would life be like if I decided to connect more fully to the joy of being alive in my body on this earth with the beings that surround me. And part of me asking that question was also actually inspired by that aforementioned time at Jubilee where I was looking out and asking myself, what would life be like if, or not only realizing how wonderful it is that I get to connect with all of you, but then what would life be like if I leaned in, if I really and truly just leaned in to the joy that human connection brings. And so then this poem came through later that day. Part of me connecting with the joy of being in my body right now is standing to recite it. And showing up, letting life fully express itself through me, letting the divine fully express itself through me in this moment, in every moment that I am blessed to be aware of existing. So here's the poem. long prelude. Here's the poem. Sometimes My heart feels as big as the moon. It hangs in the immense sky of my being, grateful to be given the opportunity to shine at all. I sit stunned by the glow of its pure love, radiating onto the vast field of life. My heart pulls in tides of joy from shores of possibility, sings in amazement at the blessings scattered around it like stars. Thank you.
What a perfect poem to have following our recent super blue moon. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. So good to see you. Our first reading this morning is from a book called The Power of Eight by Lynn McTaggart. Something about the promises we make to each other may carry more weight than the promises we make to ourselves. They give us the courage to remove branches lying across our tracks with greater ease. A statement in the presence of a small group is a contract we make with the universe to do better and be better than we presently are. And there's also the power of support and connection, a condition as necessary to the human spirit as oxygen is to the human body. The most fundamental promise we make to each other, the most basic of our social contracts, is to support each other through adversity. I will be your witness. At every point of our lives, we need to know that somewhere out there, somebody's got our back. And this knowledge becomes a larger certainty in our lives when a group of strangers connect together to heal us. And from the New Testament in the book of Hebrews, the 10th chapter, and let us consider how we may spur one another on toward love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, as some are in the habit of doing, but encouraging one another. And all the more as you see the day approaching. This is ancient wisdom and holy word. All creation is wisdom and holy word. All creation sings the wisdom of God. Hallelujah. So, my brother Steve, who is visiting today from Missouri, recently sent me an op-ed from the Washington Post by Perry Bacon, who grew up as the son of a minister, stayed active in the church through his 20s and even into his 30s, and then dropped out. In this, Bacon is like much of the nation, with the percentage of people not connected to any kind of faith community higher than it's ever been. Bacon, however, misses church, or at least some aspects of it. He wrote, "My upbringing makes me particularly inclined to see a church-sized hole in American life. Kids need places to learn values such as forgiveness while schools focus on math and reading. Young adults need places to meet a potential spouse. Adults with children need places to meet other parents and some free babysitting on the weekends. Retirees need places to build new relationships as their friends and spouses pass away. So Bacon was surprised to find himself in a category known by social scientists as the nones. That's N-O-N-E-S. As in those who check none of the above when given religious options to choose from. He described all the reasons he didn't attend church anymore, including no longer really believing much of what was taught about God and or Jesus. But then he wrote, I can easily imagine a church for the nuns. It would need a more appealing name. Start the service with songs that have a positive message. Have children do a reading to the entire congregation and then go to a separate children's service. Reserve time when church members can tell the congregation about their highs and lows from the previous week. Listen as the pastor gives a sermon on some universal value while touching briefly on whatever is in the news that week. And then a few more songs, the end. Sounds a bit like Jubilee, doesn't it? It sounds a lot like what Jubilee has been and what I think we're moving towards again. As in so much of the world, COVID threw us for a loop on top of the loops we'd already been thrown, and some of these pieces of our life are just starting to come back together. We're relearning how to be connected to each other, as Susie so helpfully showed us today. Our care and compassion team has gotten restarted recently. We're finding new ways to be connected online. We're going to have our first Zoom coffee hour today for our online participants. We've begun discussing ways to create some family-friendly events this fall and invite more of our children back into our fold. And our staff and board are finally going to have a retreat together over 2 days to spend a little extra time building trust and strategies for the coming year. So all this sounds great, but it sort of begs the question, why bother? It's a lot of work, a lot of volunteer energy, and a lot of time. Is it worth it? Can't we just meditate or read or pray at home or do some Sunday hiking? Well, Brené Brown, in her decades-long work on shame and vulnerability and leadership, notes that belonging is a primary human need. She writes that we are hardwired for belonging. It's in our DNA. And it's as McTaggart wrote, that we read earlier, there is the power of support and connection, a condition as necessary to the human spirit as oxygen is to the human body. One of the things that Brown's research has revealed is the opposite of belonging. Any guesses on what that is? What's that? Alienation. Alienation is a good guess. Any other guesses? I'm sorry. Loneliness, isolation, solitude, lower lifespan. All excellent guesses, but no. What she has discovered is the opposite of belonging is fitting in. Fitting in is the opposite of belonging. Fitting in, where we assess and acclimate in order to be part of a group. Is it okay to say this here? What topics should I avoid? Is there a dress code? Is there a belief system? Are there unspoken cultural norms? Belonging, she notes, depends on your ability to belong first to yourself. True belonging requires you to be who you are. And if you bring a facade or to a group, or you're measuring everything you say or do, you don't really belong. You may fit in, but you don't leave with a sense of, oh, these are my people. I belong here. Bringing your full self to a group, however, requires vulnerability. What if we show up as ourselves and we aren't accepted? What if we speak our truth and others reject us? Someone recently asked me if it was okay to be a Christian at Jubilee. Can we pray in Jesus' name and still belong here? I've been told by some here that I talk about the Bible too much, and by others, not enough. Others have told me they've not liked the messages of some of our guest speakers. So can we feel all these ways and still belong? I would like to believe that the answer is yes. That we are creating something here that is not exactly the church of the nuns, but the community of the faithful, even though our faiths take different shapes. And I believe the world needs places like Jubilee, where our life together is not guided by dogma, but by kindness. We love imperfectly, all of us. We love ourselves imperfectly. We love each other imperfectly. And the letter to the Hebrews suggests that this is the reason we gather together. Let us consider how we might spur one another towards love and good deeds, not giving up meeting together, but encouraging one another. We don't come together because we have it all figured out. We know exactly what we think or believe on any given thing, or because we are more loving and compassionate than the next person, but because we want to be, and we need encouragement, and because we want to encourage others to be more generous, more kind, more gracious. We come together for connection. We come together for belonging. We come together for encouragement. Now, one thing that the article in the Post especially mentioned was we come together for a place to sing. I bet most people here have had that experience where you're at a concert and at some point the lead singer realizes that the audience knows every word to a song and they just stop singing and the audience takes over. Been in that kind of experience? Yeah, it's kind of thrilling, isn't it? There's that moment when you're all just singing with each other instead of just listening. Of course, we want to hear the professionals. Thank you, professionals. But even more, we want to engage with them and with each other. We want to sing and dance and experience a moment of connection with the dozens or hundreds or thousands of other people who share our love for a particular kind of music. Singing together is one of those things that people do in faith communities, even if we don't do it anywhere else in our lives. So why does this matter? Well, I personally believe that singing does all sorts of things physiologically and emotionally for us that are good. And I also think, like all ways of connecting, singing requires a bit of vulnerability. Letting other people hear your voice can be scary. Yeah? Singing is a simple way that we can practice being vulnerable in public. And vulnerability is a necessary step in belonging. Now, you might wonder why we sang the Doors' Light My Fire this morning. As one staff member said to me, wow, Laura, you're going in a different direction than I thought about becoming connected was going to be. Another, who shall remain nameless, was more direct. That's my favorite sex song. But what if we are here to light each other's fires? To light each other's fires for caring for our neighbors. To light each other's fires for deepening our connection to our source. To light each other's fires for asking the big questions. To light each other's fires for laughter and for tears. To light each other's fire for becoming connected. So which of your connections in your life right now could use a little lighting up? Let's just take a moment to ponder about the kinds of connections that matter to us. The connection to your most authentic self, the connection to your source, your God, connection to family, connection to friends, neighbors, earth, maybe just your own backyard, maybe this mountain region, maybe the great large ecosystem web that we're all part of. Connection to wildlife, connection to your pets, connection to our civic life together, connection to our nation, connection to the global community. I have no doubt that some of these are going better for you in your life right now than others. Right? We go through periods where our connections get frayed or neglected or lost, maybe through death or moving or breakups or just the changing seasons of our lives. Maybe because our beliefs have changed or our needs have changed and our connections have not caught up with our new reality. So I want you to ponder one or two connections in your life that could use a little fire lit under them. Where would you like to feel more connected? In McTaggart's book, The Power of Eight, she describes these scientific experiments that she's done with different researchers around the world to see if we can measure the power of our intentions to impact our environment. For example, she experimented with people sending intentions for growth to certain seeds. And all the experiments are done scientifically with control groups and blind results, so researchers' biases don't affect the outcome. And the outcomes have been pretty impressive. So basically, they are proving through research what your praying aunties have always known. That when we have loving intentions together, there is real life change. And one of her discoveries is that when groups hold a shared intention together, that power is multiplied exponentially. So I'm going to ask you to do something a little vulnerable this morning. Now let me explain the whole process before we start, because I saw what you did during Susie's gift. Okay, I want you to find the one person that you connected with, or one of the people, because I saw you connected with several, but one person that you connected with your colored name tag this morning. And then I want that pair to find another pair. So there are 4 of you. Okay? We'll get into groups of about 4. And then I want you to state a simple intention about a connection in your life that you would like to deepen or ignite. And of course, only be as vulnerable as you're comfortable being. It doesn't have to be your most tender need that you share this morning, unless you want to. McTaggart writes, at every point in our lives, we need to know that somewhere out there, somebody's got our back. And this knowledge becomes a larger certainty in our lives when a group of strangers connects together to heal us. Someone who says, I will be your witness. So we're going to bear witness to each other today. So I'd like you to take turns in your small groups sharing one sentence. All right, listen to me. One sentence. No explanations. No backstories. No apologies. Just your one sentence. It may be, I would like to reignite my connection to my daughter. Or, I want to be able to feel my connection to spirit. Again, no backstory, no explanations. Just say your name and share your sentence. And then after each person shares, I'm going to invite 1 minute of silence where everyone in the circle holds that one sentence in your heart and just surrounds it with love and warmth. No responses. No advice, no questions, just listen and hold. And after the 1 minute of silence, The next person shares their name and one sentence, and we hold it for another minute until all four have shared. And then we're going to go directly from that into our time of ringing the bowls and sharing our prayers. So at the end of each period of silence, I will ring the bell, and it's time for the next person to speak. Now, there are 3x5 cards on your pews, so if you want to write down your intention, you may. You don't have to. Or if you want to write down somebody else's so that you can hold it this week for them, you may. If you do that, I want to tell you something, okay? This is a sacred trust, right? These intentions are offered to you with vulnerability. So hold them only in your own heart and mind. They are not yours to share. Got that? They are not yours to share with anyone else. They are just to be held in loving silence. That's all. All right, so let's take a breath. And take a moment. And I want you to just get clear about what is the one sentence that you would like to share this morning. Now, as quietly as you can, I invite you to move into finding your partner from earlier and then getting into a group of four. And if it's easier to do it not exactly with the same person, that's okay. All right, is everybody in a group of four? And if you need a fifth person in the group, here's a group of three that could use a fourth person over here. Okay. All right, so let's get quiet, get in our groups. And the first person, share your name and your statement, and then we'll have a moment of silence. The second person can share. Third person shares. next person shares. And since some of our groups have more than 4 people, we're going to do one more round. And I invite you to offer a gesture in silence of thanks to your group, and to find your way back to your seat, or to communion at the back, or to prayer with a prayer partner, as we ring and sing our bowls and bells and continue in our time of prayer and intention. So in this sacred space, we hold each other's intentions in our hearts. And we take a moment to hold an intention for every person in the room today and every person participating online. And we send out love to our earth, to this planet home that sustains us, feeds us, breathes us. May we be part of her healing. We send out love to our community, to Asheville, to Buncombe County, to Western North Carolina, to our region and our state. May all who are in need of anything this day, bread, home, health, love, work, connection. May our love resonate out in ways that brings healing. now we take a moment to bring to mind anyone that we know in our life that is struggling a little bit today, maybe with health, mental or physical or emotional, or maybe in some other way. We send them our love. And now we fill our hearts with a big full moon of joy, like Elizabeth shared with us earlier. And we beam that joy out to the people around us, to the world beyond these walls, to our own tender hearts. May there be joy. For gratitude for all that has been, with yes for all that will be, we say together, oh yeah. So now we're going to send our bowls around and collect our offering this morning as we enjoy some more beautiful music from our band. Wow, thanks for hanging in there today, guys. That was great. Thank you. So let's stand up, connect our hands, connect our hearts, and sing ourselves out into this week of connection and joy.